Dave Lennig is looking for work every single day. He's been laid off from his last several jobs in the tech industry and blames outsourcing for the lack of jobs available.
Outsource more jobs and take more positions from this country, we have our own problems.
Fed Trowbridge is CEO of Allsbridge Incorporated, an outsourcing consultant based in Dallas. His company advises others on how to move jobs overseas to save money.
It's a tough market, but I don't think outsourcing causes the problem. I think it actually aids businesses in change.
Every argument has two sides. Good morning, my name is Keegan B, and today I'll be responding to the question, to what extent has outsourcing impacted the United States economy from the late 20th century to present day with respect to unemployment rates and purchasing power. Around the late 20th century, many big American companies looked to outsourcing as an advantageous strategy. The way they saw is outsourcing helped to maximize profits by using cheap labor wages. According to the wage indicator, the American minimum wage is $7.25, whereas the minimum wage in China is $1.60. So these companies are able to exploit the cheap labor in order to maximize their profit and to reduce the production rate, or the production cost. And they also don't have to deal with the stringent working laws that we have here in America, such as compensation, child labor, and working regulations. And the other reasons that they outsource is to open new markets, which again leads to more profit. Companies explain that outsourcing not only helps them, but also the United States economy by stimulating job growth. So meaning that more jobs are created than are outsourced. The companies outsource jobs that are less desirable or less complex and can then offer higher paying jobs to America's skilled workers. So the increase in jobs is evident by the decreasing unemployment rates shown by this graph by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. In addition, outsourcing benefits consumers as cost of products are cut in half. The prices of goods are decreased, making them more accessible to everyone. However, what these companies don't know is that outsourcing has hindered many industries, including manufacturing, customer service, human resources, and information technology specialists. A town that experienced the detrimental effects of outsourcing is Youngstown, Ohio. Youngstown was once a prosperous city well known for their steel mills, but after World War II, the manufacturing industry shifted abroad and left Youngstown in disarray. Thompson in World Without Work explains that the city lost 50,000 jobs and $1.3 billion in manufacturing wages. The idea of outsourcing hit the economy hard as America experienced a loss of blue-collar jobs in Youngstown and countless other cities. According to the United States Department of Labor, the manufacturing industry has experienced a steady decline in manufacturing jobs. In 2004, there was 14,000 manufacturing jobs, but in 2014, 2,000 of those jobs are lost, and it's expected to continue to decline. Though this decrease was also aided by increased use of technology, outsourcing was still a pivotal role in the decrease of manufacturing jobs. Taking away these jobs create extreme pressure on workers, such as what happened in Youngstown. Because they lost their economic stability, it led to a cultural and psychological breakdown. This regional depression could become a national depression if the University of California is correct of their estimate that 14 million white-collar jobs are vulnerable to being outsourced. Though outsourcing does help decrease the cost of products, if someone is unemployed, they won't be able to buy these luxury goods like these. This leads to which reduces their purchasing power and ability to buy goods. This leads to workers being laid off because there are less consumers. If we were to bring back jobs, Americans would have more money to invest in pay discrepancies because there would be a higher employment rate. With more money running through the economy, the GDP, which was steadily declining, can rise because of the new surge of consumers. However, the problem with this is that it can lead to inflation because as we bring jobs back, then we're going to have to pay a higher production cost because of the wages, so then the price of goods is going to rise. When looking at the problem of outsourcing as a whole, it is evident that despite how outsourcing benefits the American economy, the threat of high unemployment rates and low purchasing power outweighs the good. A solution proposed by Issa Durrell, a U.S. representative, is called Protect and Grow American Jobs Act. The purpose of this bill is to protect American jobs from companies that are using the H-1B visa system. And this program is meant for companies to temporarily hire highly skilled workers when they're not available in the United States. The legislation ensures that high skilled labor is always accessible to the American workforce. This bill will raise requirements by increasing the pay of the foreign worker to $100,000 to keep it more in line with a high skilled worker in America. So this will decrease the need to go and find an H-1B visa worker because you're already going to have to pay the same amount in America. But the problem with this is it's not going to stop outsourcing in any way, and because they can find other ways to outsource other than just using the H-1B visa system. The best solution to outsourcing is taking away the incentive to outsource by creating a global American minimum wage set by the Department of Labor. As stated before, the reasons that companies outsource is to pay the cheaper labor and the lenient working laws. So this law will ensure that American companies are to pay all workers, regardless of where they're working, the same minimum wage, which would be the $7.25 that we pay in America here. This will decrease the amount of outsourced jobs because they lose one of their motives, which is the cheaper labor costs. However, there are many implications. One being that the proposal would have to go through the federal government because it's a nationwide or kind of global-wide thing, and it would give a higher chance of being rejected because of each process. Also, this would require a transitional period in which companies would have to restructure their employment system, hoping that they're actually willing to comply with it. And as always, limiting outsourcing will cause inflation because as we have to pay more for production costs and labor wages, then the price of goods will rise. The global American minimum wage is the best solution to outsourcing because it does not punish the small companies who don't outsource, and it puts them on an equal playing field. It prohibits companies from being able to exploit other workers and allows for jobs to return to America so that areas like Youngstown can prosper once again. Thank you. Any questions?
2 questions for you. How valid and reliable were the sources that you used, and then how do you know they were?
The sources that I used were mainly government sources. So I used the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Department of Labor to find the majority of my facts, so that, because they're found by the government.
And second question, what advice would you have for other researchers who consider this topic?
My advice to them would be to to find sources that aren't biased, because it was really hard for me to find the right sources because everyone has an opinion of like outsourcing because it's such a controversial topic. So to focus more on the statistics rather than just an opinion based.
All right, thank you.